Well, good morning, everyone. We're here for the criminal motion hearing docket this morning. We have Ms. Bonilla via Zoom. Good morning. Can you hear me, Ms. Bonilla? Ms. Bonilla, are you there? Ms. Bonilla? Mr. Gorman or Ms. Roger, can you hear me?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Bonilla?
Rose, Judge.
All right. All right.
Sorry about that, Judge. I was having audio issues.
All right. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
All right. Okay. And we have Ms. Armpriester from the Public Defender's Office in the courtroom. Good morning.
Good morning.
Ms. Armpriester, can we take your case that's in the jail first?
Absolutely.
Which case is that? You may.
Your Honor, at this time, this is Salisbury Armpriester on behalf of Tom Spalding, 20 MM 1172. We would like to exchange our previously entered plea of not guilty and exchange for a plea of no contest. If not mistaken, please put the plea on the record.
Ms. Bonilla, what's the plea offer?
Oh, well.
Ms. Bonilla.
I'm sorry. For some reason, the Zoom cut out. Can I get that case number, Judge?
20 MM 1172. Could I have the jail mute their microphone, please? MM 1172, Ms. Bonilla.
Received, Your Honor.
What is the plea offer?
The current plea offer in this case, Judge, is an adjudication of guilt, 6 months probation, where he may early terminate at 3 months, substance abuse evaluation, follow the recommendations, required treatment, and court costs and cost of prosecution.
Public defender fees, Ms. Armpriester.
Yes, Your Honor, $50 application is eligible for services.
All right, Mr. Spalding, could you back up a little bit?
Sir.
Thank you. Could you raise your right hand to be sworn?
This is for all charges, or?
We're just here on your possession of paraphernalia charge.
Okay. And what about the other charge?
I don't know about your other charges.
I only have him on the paraphernalia for this judge. It does appear that he has a warrant, but I believe it was for this case, and there's a closed criminal traffic matter from 2020.
Mr. Spalding, you're only here on the possession of paraphernalia, so if you have other charges, those would probably be in another court.
And then the courtroom has, I don't know, I'm sorry.
Sir, your DWLS was null frost, only remaining the other case that we're here on today. That is all I can see at this point. So if you have other county cases, those would not be resolved. We're only here today on your Collier County case.
Trying to resolve both at the same time, because I think they're both misdemeanors and.
The state dropped your driving charge.
What?
They dropped the driving charge, so there's nothing to plead to. It's dropped, they dismissed it.
No, the driving charge, I know they dropped that. I'm talking about the charge like dropped last night.
All right, sounds like we need to continue this case. Let's continue it to our next pretrial date of February 25th.
Well, no. I'm trying to do both at the same time.
And we can't do that, sir. Procedurally, we can't. I'll have Ms. Woodley get in touch with you ASAP.
All right, February 25th at 9 o'clock for pretrial conference. Mr. Spalding, once your attorneys figure out. Mr. Spalding, I don't know. I'm going to have your attorneys look into it. They can set it on a 215 docket in order to resolve the cases, okay?
Okay, yeah, this one and then has the other one, or what?
No, we've already continued it. All right, thank you, Naples Jail. February 25th at 9 o'clock. All right, next time you set a plea with someone in the jail, make sure that they know what they're doing. All right, do you have any other cases in the courtroom, Ms. Armpriester?
In the courtroom, yes, Your Honor.
Go ahead. Those of you on Zoom, we're going to handle the cases that are in the courtroom first so that we can get them out of the courthouse. Go ahead, Ms. Armpriester.
Kimber Mullins, 24. She's here to issue a change of plea.
All right, thank you.
Judge, can I get that case number, please? I can't really hear Ms. Armpriester.
20MM24. Go ahead, Ms. Armpriester.
Judge, Ms. Mullins would like to withdraw her previously entered plea of not guilty in exchange for a plea of no contest. I've written on the plea form the conditions of that plea. She'll be adjudicated guilty, 6 months of probation. There is a no trespass at Steinmart, however, that location no longer exists. Court cost of prosecution, and $50 public defender fee and $50 application fee. And early termination, I believe, is 3 months.
So hang on, Ms. Bonilla. Ms. Armpriester, your plea form says 12 months probation.
Early term at 6, correct. And there's also
Ms. Bonilla, what's the offer in this case?
Judge, the offer in this case is an adjudication of guilt, $200 fine, 12 months probation. Ms. Mullins may early terminate at 6 months. The ACF milepost class, no trespass at Steinmart. That is located at 13100 Tamiami Trail East, Naples, Florida, 34114, and court cost and cost of prosecution.
Public defender fees, Ms. Armpriester?
Yes.
Ms. Bonilla, do we need a no trespass considering Steinmart no longer exists?
If it no longer exists, Your Honor, then I'm not sure if.
All right, no
trespass.
We're not going to include a no trespass.
Okay, no problem, Your Honor.
Ma'am, will you raise your right hand to be sworn?
You solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Will you state your name for the record?
Kimber Mullins,
And your date of birth?
10/14/19.
All right, Ms. Mullins, did you hear the offer that was placed on the record?
Yes, sir.
And do you have any questions about that offer? Do you wish to accept that offer?
Yes.
Are you pleading guilty or no contest? I have a plea form in front of me. Is this your signature on this form?
Yes, sir.
And by signing it, you've indicated that you've read it or it's been explained to you? Did you understand all of the rights listed on this form?
Yes.
Okay, and you understand that you're waiving those rights by entering your plea today? Do you understand that your plea will be used against you in a deportation proceeding if you're not a United States citizen?
Yes.
All right. Are you under the influence of drugs, alcohol, or medication? Have you ever been diagnosed with a mental illness? Are you satisfied with your attorney's advice? Has she done everything that you've requested?
Yes, sir.
All right. Do you understand that petty theft is an enhanceable offense, meaning if you're charged and convicted of this of theft in the future, you could be facing higher fines, higher penalties, more jail time, or a possible felony offense? Knowing that, you still wish to enter your plea? Any additional questions, Ms. Bonilla?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Armpriester, will you stipulate to venue and a factual basis for the plea?
Yes.
All right, ma'am, I'll accept your plea, find it knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently entered upon a factual basis and in your best interest, adjudicate you guilty, place you on probation for a period of 12 months. You may apply for early termination at 6 months, provided all conditions have been satisfactorily met. You must complete the ACF milepost program. There will be a $200 fine. All court costs, including cost of prosecution and public defender fees, will be imposed. I'm going to have you step over here to be fingerprinted. Before you leave the courthouse today, you need to check in with probation. It's located on this floor, past the vending machines. All right, thank you. Well, she'll have the entire time she's on probation to pay. All right, thank you.
Judge, next is Matthew Williams, 20 MM 353.
Just a minute. You said Matthew Williams?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Go ahead.
Judge, we're here for a change of plea on a charge of battery. We'd like to withdraw our previously entered plea of not guilty in exchange for a plea of no contest. He'll be adjudicated guilty, spend 12 months on probation where he may early terminate at 6. Credit for time served, I do believe he spent 2 days in. Complete anger management, court costs, cost of prosecution, cost of defense. Judge, Mr. Williams lives in Lake County. The state has not objected to mail-in probation. He and I have both executed the plea form.
Ms. Bonilla, is that offer correct?
Yes, Judge, I apologize. I'm looking at the email that Ms. Armpriester sent to me about 5 minutes ago regarding this case.
He agreed to do it.
The state is in agreement with credit for time served, Your Honor. The plea offer is correct in this case.
There's no contact order or no trespass order?
No, I'm checking now, Your Honor. Apologize. No contact with the victim and no trespass at the victim's residence, Your Honor. And that address right now is 322 East Central Boulevard, apartment 1010, Naples, Florida.
Do you need an opportunity to speak to Mr. Williams about that?
He's indicated he doesn't have an issue with that. I just didn't want the court.
I don't even know that the people were.
Sir, will you raise your right hand to be sworn?
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Please state your name
Matthew Williams,
and your date of birth.
11/20/1979.
And Mr. Williams, did you hear the plea offer that was placed on the record?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions about it?
No, sir.
Do you wish to accept it?
Yes, sir.
Are you pleading guilty or no contest?
No contest.
I have a plea form in front of me. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
And by signing it, you've indicated that you've read it or it's been explained to you?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand all of the rights listed on this form?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that you're waiving those rights by entering your plea today?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that your plea will be used against you in a deportation proceeding if you're not a United States citizen?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of drugs, alcohol, or medication?
No.
Have you ever been diagnosed with a mental illness?
No.
Are you satisfied with your attorney's advice?
Yes.
Have they done everything that you've requested?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that battery is an enhanceable offense, meaning if you're convicted of this crime in the future, you could be facing higher penalties, including a higher fine, more jail time, or a possible felony offense?
Yes, sir.
And knowing that, you still wish to enter your plea?
Yes, sir.
Did I ask you if you were satisfied with your attorney's advice?
You did.
Okay. Ms. Bonilla, do you have any additional questions?
Questions, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Armpriester, will you stipulate to venue and a factual basis for the plea? All right, sir, I'll accept your plea. Find it knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently entered upon a factual basis and in your best interest, adjudicate you guilty, place you on probation for a period of 12 months. You may apply for early termination after serving 6 months, provided all conditions have been satisfactorily met. The court will allow mail-in probation since you live out of county. You must complete the enroll and complete the anger management program. There will be no contact with the victim, no trespass at 322 East Central Boulevard, apartment 1010 in Naples, Florida. All court costs, including costs of prosecution and public defender fees, will be imposed.
I have a cash bond that I pay.
That'll go toward your fees.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm going to have you step over here to be fingerprinted. Before you leave the courthouse, you'll need to check in with probation. It's located here on the first floor. Thank you. Did you already close it? That's all right.
Your Honor, I will defer, I think, with the private counsel.
Okay. All right. Go ahead, Counselor.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Richard Sullivan for Trevina Cypress, News Press.
All right.
Your Honor, I have to apologize to the court and Ms. Bonilla. I've run into a roadblock in this plea this morning.
Okay.
My client anticipated going into custody for 30 days. She's depending on her mother for childcare. Mother was in an auto accident and is in the hospital on a ventilator for minors. So I need to ask the court to roll this for maybe 30 days so she can establish childcare before she goes into custody.
Is there any objection? Ms. Bonilla?
Judge, can I get a case number?
20 CT 845 with Mr. Sullivan.
Judge, the state has no objection. The state would just ask that this be the last continuance.
Just so the court and Ms. Bonilla know, we're not opposed to pleading out to the and setting sentencing for 30 days. Or, I don't know if the jail has weekends or something, she could get a report date for weekends, but.
She'd have to be placed on probation for that.
Yes, sir.
All right, you want to go to March 5th?
If I may, Your Honor.
You may. I've got February 23rd or March 5th. Both mornings.
Your Honor, I would request March 5th from the court.
All right, any objection?
Objection, Your Honor.
All right, we'll set it for a plea for March 5th at 9 a.m. Yes, that's a criminal status hearing date. Okay, all right, thank you, Mr. Sullivan. Thank you, ma'am. All right. Do you have any cases with us?
No, I just had to drop off some paperwork. We have an attorney in.
Okay.
Morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
I got Robert McGuire with me. He's entering a plea today, Your Honor.
Okay.
And in exchange for a plea of no contest in 20 CT 88. Adjudication of guilt, $1,000 fine, 12 months of probation with no early termination for 6 months, 9 months driver's license suspension, DUI school level 2, substance abuse evaluation and follow recommendations with random tests, no possession of drugs or alcohol, 50 community service hours, victims impact panel, 10-day vehicle impound, court cost, and cost of prosecution.
Is that correct, Ms. Bonilla?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Sir, will you raise your right hand to be sworn?
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you shall hear shall be the truth, the truth, and nothing but the truth?
Will you state your name
Robert McGuire,
and your date of birth?
1/26/1965.
Mr. McGuire, did you hear the offer that was placed on the record by your attorney?
Yes, I have.
Do you have any questions about that offer?
Yes,
Do you wish to accept that offer?
yes, I do.
You live out of county?
Pardon me?
Do you live out of county?
Yes, I do.
Does the state have any objection to mail-in probation?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, the court will allow mail-in probation.
And is that a major made up for 6 months?
Yes. All right, are you pleading guilty or no contest?
No contact.
I have a plea form in front of me. Is this your signature on this
That is
form?
my signature.
And by signing it, you've indicated that you've read it or it's been explained to you?
Yes,
Did you understand all of the rights listed on this form?
yes,
You understand that you're waiving those rights by entering your plea today?
yes,
Do you understand that your plea will be used against you in a deportation proceeding if you're not a United States citizen?
yes.
Are you under the influence of drugs, alcohol, or medication?
No,
Have you ever been diagnosed with a mental illness?
no,
Are you satisfied with your attorney's advice?
yes.
Have they done everything that you've requested?
Above and beyond.
Very good. Do you understand that DUI is an enhanceable offense, meaning if you're convicted of this crime in the future, you could be facing higher fines, higher penalties, more jail time, or a possible felony offense? And knowing that, you still wish to enter your plea?
Yes.
Ms. Bonilla, any additional questions from you?
No questions, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. McGuire, I'll accept your plea, find it knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently entered upon a factual basis and in your best interest, adjudicate you guilty, place you on probation for a period of 12 months. You may apply for early termination after serving 6 months, provided all conditions have been satisfactorily met. Impose a $1,000 fine, a 9-month driver's license revocation. You must undergo a substance abuse evaluation, follow our recommendations, and be subject to random testing at your own expense. There will be a no alcohol provision. That means you cannot consume alcohol while you're on probation. You cannot have alcohol in your residence. You cannot go anywhere that primarily sells alcohol, such as bars, taverns, saloons, or packaged liquor stores. You must complete 50 hours of community service, 1 victim impact panel, the appropriate DUI school, a 10-day vehicle impoundment. All court costs, including costs of prosecution, would be imposed, and the court will allow you to do mail-in probation since you live out of county. I'm gonna have you step over here to be fingerprinted. You'll need to check in with probation today before you leave the courthouse. It's located here on the 1st floor. All right, thank you, Mr. McGuire.
Your Honor, if I may, I also have a plea extension for Your Honor this morning.
All right, give me 1 moment. All right, looks good. All right, go ahead.
Good morning, Your Honor. Emily Higginson for Corey Mihailov, 20 CT 2082. There's a plea extension today, Your Honor. It's in exchange for a plea of no contest, an adjudication of guilt, $1,000 fine, 12 months of probation with no early termination, 12 months driver's license suspension, 6 months vehicle interlock, DUI school level 1, substance abuse evaluation, and follow all recommendations from the substance abuse evaluation, no possession or consumption of alcohol with random screens, 50 community service hours, victims impact panel, 10-day vehicle impound, 60 days of sober link, court costs, and cost of prosecution.
When is the 60 days of sober link supposed to start?
As soon as probation starts. And he lives in the county.
So within 24 hours, today's Friday, within 48 hours?
Yes.
Any objection to that, Ms. Bonilla?
No objection, Your Honor. The state has reviewed the plea in abstention. The state has no objection to the documents.
All right. Counselor, will you stipulate to venue and a factual basis for the plea in absentia?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'll accept the plea in absentia, find it knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently entered upon a factual basis and in the defendant's best interest, adjudicate the defendant guilty, impose a $1,000 fine, place the defendant on probation for a period of 12 months with no early termination. There will be a 12-month driver's license revocation, a 6-month vehicle interlock, must complete the appropriate DUI school, undergo a substance abuse evaluation, follow all recommendations, and be subject to random testing at their own expense. There will be no alcohol provision, meaning they cannot possess alcohol, they cannot consume alcohol, they cannot have alcohol in their home, they cannot go anywhere that primarily sells alcohol, such as bars, taverns, saloons, or packaged liquor stores. Impose 50 hours of community service, of 1 victim impact panel, a 10-day vehicle impoundment. For the first 60 days of probation, I have a SoberLink device, which must be obtained within 48 hours. I'll impose all court costs, including cost of prosecution.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Thank
May I
you.
be excused?
You may. Have a good weekend. All right, give me one moment here. I'm sorry?
Is he the defendant also?
No.
Basically, if you want to go on.
All right. Thank you. Looks good. All right. Let me go to Zoom. All right. Let me go to Ms. Roger. Good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor. Your Honor, the only case I have in your docket this morning is Nigel Katende, case number 20-1826CT.
Okay.
I did e-file a plea in absentia. At this time, he is going to withdraw his previously entered plea of not guilty and enter a plea of no contest to the charge of reckless driving. The terms of his agreement is a withhold of adjudication, a 12-hour advanced driver improvement course, and court costs, and cost of prosecution. And Your Honor, I did also e-file the proof of completion of his 12-hour course. The state had requested he complete that prior to entering the plea.
I do see that in the court. Is there a mandatory fine on this? Is there a mandatory fine on this charge?
Reckless driving, yes.
I think there's a mandatory $25 fine.
Oh, that's okay, Your Honor. That's fine. We can add that. He understands that the costs are going to be ordered by the court, so no objection to that.
All right. Ms. Bonilla, have you had an opportunity to review the plea and absentia forms?
Yes, Judge. The state has no objection.
Okay. Roger, will you stipulate to venue and the factual basis for the plea and absentia?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'll accept the plea in absentia, find it knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently entered upon a factual basis and in the defendant's best interest, withhold adjudication, impose a 12-hour driver improvement course, a $25 fine, all court costs, including costs of prosecution. Does your client need some time to pay?
Yes, Your Honor. Can we have 60 days?
All right, 60 days to pay.
Thank you. That's all I have, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, have a good day.
You too. Thanks.
All right, let me go to Mr. Gorman.
Hello, Your Honor. Thomas
Good
Gorman,
morning.
Donald Day. Judge, I got a number of cases. Should I just call them?
Go ahead.
First case we have is Cindy Canty, 20 CT 874. This is defense's motion to early terminate. She's completed her halfway point today, actually, is 6 months. She's completed all outstanding terms and conditions and up to date on all fines, fees, and costs. At this time, we'd be moving to early terminate.
Is that correct? All
Yes, Your Honor.
terms have been completed? Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Bonilla?
Judge, the state has no objection.
Great. Motion for early termination of probation is granted. Mr. Gorman, you'll send an order to my judicial assistant.
Yes, Judge, we'll get that over right away.
All right, thank you.
Next case we have is 20 CT 2006, Sophie Warnick. Judge, we have filed a amended plea in absentia. There was a Scrivener's error on the original one that we tried a couple weeks ago. Essentially, she's going to be pleading to count one, which is DUI with damage above a 1.5. Negotiate terms of the resolution. Subject to Your Honor's approval are adjudication, $1,000 fine, 12 months of probation, May early term after 8. DUI school, no alcohol, all standard no alcohol provisions, no consumption of alcohol, no ordering bars, taverns, restaurants, etc., whose primary purpose is sale of alcohol, substance abuse evaluation, follow recommendations, random testing, victim impact panel, 50 hours of community service, 10-month driver's license suspension, 10-day vehicle impound. Restitution is to be ordered and reserved, and ignition interlock for 6 months. There is a companion civil citation for failure to provide proof of insurance. We'd ask that that be merged and dismissed. And those are the terms, Judge.
Okay. Ms. Bonilla, is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor. The state has had an opportunity to review the plea in absentia. State has no objection to the documents.
All right, Mr. Gorman, will you stipulate to venue and the factual basis for the plea in absentia?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'll accept the plea in absentia, find it knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently entered upon a factual basis and in the defendant's best interest, adjudicate guilty, impose a $1,000 fine, all court costs, including costs of prosecution, place the defendant on probation for a period of 12 months. They may apply for early termination after serving 6 months, provided all conditions have been satisfactorily met. Conditions include completing the appropriate DUI school, a no alcohol provision, meaning they cannot consume alcohol while they're on probation. They cannot have alcohol in their residence. They cannot go anywhere that primarily sells alcohol, such as bars, taverns, saloons, or packaged liquor stores. Must undergo a substance abuse evaluation and follow all recommendations. They'll be subject to random testing at their own expense. Must complete the appropriate victim impact panel, 50 hours of community service. There will be a 10-month driver's license revocation, a 10-day vehicle impoundment, a 6-month ignition interlock, and the court will order and reserve restitution to the victim. All right, give me a moment to review that. And the court will dismiss the traffic infraction. All right.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Mr. Coleman.
Whenever Madam Clerk's ready,
Is it okay? Can I ask?
Yes.
Judge, next case we have is Nicole Zacchio, 20 CT 1704. This is a plea in absentia. The negotiated terms of the resolution are that it would be a withhold of adjudication, all court costs, cost of prosecution, 6 months of probation, shall terminate upon successful completion of the conditions, 12 hours driver improvement course.
This is a dry reckless.
It was a it's a regular reckless, yeah, Judge. It wasn't a DUI ever.
Okay. I believe there's still a $25 fine.
Judge, that won't be an issue if we can just consider that as part of the court costs and cost of production. She'll get that paid.
Okay. Ms. Bonilla, have you had an opportunity to review the plea in absentia forms?
Yes, Judge, the plea offer is correct. I've had an opportunity to review the plea in absentia, and I have no objection to the documents.
Okay. All right, Mr. Corman, will you stipulate to venue and a factual basis for the plea in absentia?
Yes.
All right, I'll accept the plea in absentia, find it knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently entered upon a factual basis and in the defendant's best interest, withhold adjudication, place the defendant on probation for a period of 6 months, which shall terminate upon the successful completion of all conditions, impose all court costs, including cost of prosecution, and a fine of $25. The defendant must complete a 12-hour driver improvement course as a condition of probation. One moment here. Okay, looks good. All right, thank you, Mr. Gorman.
Thank you, Judge. Have a good weekend.
Thank you, you too.
Take care.
All right, let me go to Mr. Wetter. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Judge. Happy Friday.
Thank you, you too.
Judge, I'm here on behalf of Mr. Padilla and 20 CT 1666.
Okay.
And we have reached a resolution with the state attorney's office. It's going to be a plea of no contest to the amended charge of reckless driving. In exchange for a plea of no contest to the amended charge, it's going to be a withhold of adjudication, 6 months of probation, which can early terminate upon all conditions being complete, which include a 12-hour driving class, a $250 fine, court costs, and $50 for prosecution.
Right, Ms. Bonilla, is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right. Did you get all of that, Natalia?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Bonilla, have you had an opportunity to review the plea in absentia forms?
Yes, Judge, I've had an opportunity to review them, and I have no objection to the documents.
All right, Mr. Wetter, will you stipulate to venue and factual basis for the plea in absentia?
I will, Judge.
All right, I'll accept the plea in absentia, find it knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently entered upon a factual basis and in the defendant's best interest, withhold adjudication to the amended offense of reckless driving, place the defendant on probation for a period of 6 months. The defendant may report by mail and may early terminate upon the successful completion of all conditions. Impose a 12-hour driver improvement course, a $250 fine, all court costs, including costs of prosecution. Give me one moment to review that. All right, looks good. All right, thank you, Mr. Wetter.
Thank you, Judge. Have a nice weekend.
Thank you, you too. All right, let me go to Ms. Orange.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
I have one case on the docket this morning. It's Jean Muzeau, case number 20CT620.
Okay.
Your Honor, when I last came before you, I had the plea in absentia. It was notarized by my assistant, but it wasn't signed by her. I have a complete plea in absentia, which is ready to be filed. However, my client called this week with more questions, so I was reluctant on filing it. I do want to make sure that he does understand the plea that he is entering into before I file it with the court. And given that he is Creole speaking, and although I can communicate with him, I might need to elicit max for the words that I just can't translate and make sure that he fully understands.
Okay.
So if we just set this maybe on another, I don't know if you have anything coming up next week or the next 2 weeks. And hopefully by then the plea in absentia is filed. I did send it to Ms. Bonilla. I'm not sure if she's had a chance to review it. I don't remember if I've sent this to Mr. Cabrera before, but I just sent it to Ms. Bonilla maybe in the last 10 minutes. So
okay.
It's ready. I just don't want to file it just yet.
I understand.
And I have it right here, Your Honor, prints and everything, but.
I understand, Ms. Orange. Ms. Bonilla, any objection to a continuance?
Judge, I have no objection to a continuance, but to give Ms. Orange time, may the state advise that this be set for your next status after your pretrial conference so that it can be addressed?
We could set it on the pretrial conference docket.
Okay.
All right, let's go to February 24th at 9 o'clock.
And Your Honor, if I get it in before that, is it okay if I just contact your judicial assistant? And
It is. If we have something before then, we can try to set it before then.
okay.
Okay. All right, great.
Have
Thanks, Ms. Orange. Have a good weekend.
You too. Thanks.
Thanks. All right, let me go to Mr. Amster.
Morning, Your Honor. Stephen Amster on behalf of Alexis Barclay.
Good morning.
Your Honor, I filed the appropriate, I believe it has been, it's in the system. I received notice yesterday. Filed the appropriate, in my opinion, appropriate affidavit in absentia.
Okay.
And I have the plea offer if you'd like me to announce or.
Go ahead.
Okay. It's an adjudication, 12 months probation, early termination upon the completion of the following conditions: 20 days of weekend work, 50 hours of community service hours, but a buyout is available. A good faith effort to obtain a valid driver's license, and we have court costs and costs of prosecution.
Okay, could you give me those one more time?
Adjudication of guilt, 12 months reporting probation, early termination upon the completion of the following conditions: 20 days of weekend work, 50 community service hours, but he can pay them out, and a good faith effort to obtain a valid driver's license. And then he has court costs and cost of prosecution.
Okay. And for the probation, is that shall terminate upon the completion of all conditions or may terminate?
What I had received from Mr. Cabrera prior was ET upon completion.
All right. So shall. All right, Ms. Bonilla, is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Bonilla, have you had an opportunity to review the plea and absentia forms?
Yes, Judge, I've had an opportunity to review them, and the state has no objection to the documents.
All right. Mr. Amster, will you stipulate to venue and a factual basis for the plea?
I will.
All right, I'll accept the plea in absentia, find it knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently entered upon a factual basis and in the defendant's best interest, adjudicate the defendant guilty, place them on probation for a period of 12 months. You want mail, can they do mail-in probation, Ms. Bonilla?
No objection to mail-in probation, Your Honor.
All right. Probation may be served via mail-in. Probation shall automatically terminate upon the successful completion of all conditions, which include 50 hours of community service, which the defendant may buy out at the rate of $10 per hour, 20 days of weekend work, or 20 days jail with credit for time served, which may be served on the weekend work program, weekend lockdown, or straight time. Defendant must make a good faith effort at obtaining a valid driver's license. All court costs, including costs of prosecution, shall be imposed. Give me one moment to review that. All right, very good. All right, thank you, Mr. Amster.
Your Honor, thank you. I have one question. Will he, I get, is there a number or something? He resides in Miami. Obviously, he's got mail-in, but he needs to contact probation.
Yeah, he needs to contact county probation probably today.
Does Madam Clerk, does anybody have the number?
You can find it on the circuit's website.
Okay, thank you so much.
Collier County.
Thank you.
Okay, all right, thank you, Mr. Amster.
Take care.
All right, you too. All right, next we have Mr. Fayette on Travis Gossard, 19 CT 2236. Good morning, Mr. Fayette.
Good morning, Judge. Those last two pleas, the pleas and absentia, does that mean those were stinky deals as opposed to pleas and absentia?
I don't know. I'm thinking, I hear
that phrase all the time, abstentia. I always am confused as to where it comes from. I just can only assume it's a Freudian slip because they're not happy with the deals.
Well, I remember one time when I was at the public defender's office, Judge Crown sent an email, and I believe it was to your former colleague, Mr. Van Zandt, and all it was an auto playback of the word absentia. So I might have to take a playbook from Judge Crown and see if I can start emailing that out also.
That's pretty funny. I never heard that. Jeff never told me that.
Yeah, I think it was to Mr. Van Zandt. I'm pretty certain, but I may be wrong about that. But anyway,
there's no T, but if it's a bad deal, it makes sense.
Right, exactly. Okay, so for Mr. Gossard, I have to apologize. I don't have the order out on the motion to suppress. This week was a little busier than I expected, so I thought I'd have it out by today. I don't.
He's out of custody, Judge, and working away. We're not stressing out about it.
Okay. Any objection to us putting this on the pretrial conference docket?
No objection, Your Honor.
Okay, I promise I will have it within the next week or so. I think next week I'll have plenty of time to get that out. So, okay, we'll continue it to February 24th at 9 a.m. And Mr. Fayette, I apologize.
No problem. I appreciate your time, Judge. Have a good weekend.
Okay, thank you. Have a nice weekend. All right, that brings us back to Ms. Armpriester.
Your Honor, I don't have a plan on Zoom, Mr. Rashad Mitchell.
You may have, but I don't see them now.
He was messaging me asking if he was in the right place. Judge, I'd still like to call case number 20 CT 277, Mr. Rashad Mitchell. He was on the Zoom call, Judge, and I've had constant contact with him. This was set as a mandatory appearance, Judge, and I did reach out to the state and the terminale to see if his appearance via Zoom was permissible today. Your Honor, this was set for mandatory appearance. Just to refresh the court's knowledge, this was a bench warrant case that the court and the state did agree to set aside the bench warrant. It was a miscommunication between myself and my client. And this was just set for a status to get us in front of the bench. But Judge, since that time on his charges of the no driver's license, he has been paying tickets. He sent me screenshots yesterday, and I confirmed with Showcase. He owes about $472 left with the collections agency, and he is actively making progress on that. So the defense would like to ask for another continuance because he is making substantial progress towards getting a valid license.
Ms. Bonilla, and it looks like, hang on, we've got somebody in the waiting room.
I'm sure it's him.
It is. All right, good morning, Mr. Mitchell.
Hello.
All right, Ms. Armpriester has requested a continuance in your case. She says you're making progress in obtaining a driver's license.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Ms. Bonilla, what's your response?
Judge, I have no objection to the continuance, but the state would recommend if we can, the state would recommend that this be the last continuance. And in order to accommodate Mr. Mitchell, can we set this 2 dockets out so that we can give him time to get his license fixed?
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Are you currently driving?
At the moment, yes.
And yet you don't have a driver's license.
Yeah, my sister, she had a terrible headache. I had to quickly go to the store to get her Tylenol because she wasn't able to drive. So I just quickly went up here to get her something.
Motion for continuance is denied. Ms. Bonilla, what would you like to do today? And Mr. Mitchell, I'd like to inform you that you currently have a warrant for your arrest out of St. Lucie County.
Why would I have a warrant there?
You have a warrant for St. Lucie County for driving while license suspended, failure to appear. It's clear that you continue to drive without a driver's license.
I was never driving in St. Lucie.
Well, you take that up with St. Lucie. You're currently driving now, which, by the way, being on a video conference while driving is also a traffic offense. Ms. Bonilla, how would you like to proceed?
Judge, I would like to set this for trial. I I need to obtain my witness availability, but I'm more inclined to not only change the plea offer at this time, but to set this for a hearing or whatnot. I was trying to assist Mr. Mitchell in making sure that I worked with his public defender to help him with getting his license. But not only are we witnessing a law violation, but at this point, I'm not sure how many times the court can assist Mr. Mitchell.
All right, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna set this case for calendar call for Monday, February 1st at 9 o'clock. Mr. Mitchell, your presence is required. If you're not present, a bench warrant will be issued for your arrest.
Okay.
All right, we'll see you Monday at 9 o'clock. Your objection is noted for the record and overruled. Thank you, Mr. Mitchell. Okay, Ms. Armbruster, next case. You may. I'm going to take a moment too. All right, Ms. Benia, are you there?
Yes, Judge, I am here.
Okay, all right, go ahead, Ms. Armbruster.
Judge, I did a little researching on the issue with Mr. Spalding, as it appeared that he was set for plea.
Okay.
I did speak with Ms. Woodley. He was missing from our office, and this was set for mandatory appearance, and he got arrested last night. So I misspoke when I said that he was here for change of plea. I thought all of Ms. Woodley's clients were on her plea, but ordinarily he would have been one that we had no contact with, but because he was arrested last night, the jail had him on first.
Okay.
So I just wanted to bring that
So
up.
he was arrested on a new offense?
Yes,
then?
Judge. And I
Okay.
believe he'll be at 24s today.
Okay, well,
Judge, which case is this?
we're talking about Spalding,
It was the first one, Madam.
20 MM 1172.
I spoke with Ms. Woodley and did a little looking, which is why he wanted to resolve both, because he got arrested last night.
You know what he got arrested on?
I believe some murder offenses.
Okay, all right, well, if you want to resolve it, I have no objection to it being set on a 215 docket, provided the 24's judge doesn't have an objection.
Very good, I'll let Ms. Woodley know.
Okay, all right.
And then again, Judge covering for Ms. Woodley, Darren James Borley, case number 20 MM 1021 and 1022. Judge, this is a plea in absentia. As it relates to 20 MM 1021, he pleaded an adjudication of guilt. All court costs, prosecution cost defense, 12 months of probation, which may be mail-in, and may early terminate at 8 months, 10 days of weekend work with credit for time served, ACF misdemeanor program, restitution to the victim in the amount of $249.73. No trespass at the location of the offense.
Do you have the address?
It is not in here, but I will find it. As it relates to 20 MM 1022, it is the same offer, except no restitution on that. And it would run concurrent. I also have the executed paperwork, Judge, as well as the fingerprint card, if I may.
Yes. So the, in 1021, Ms. Bonilla, that would be a no trespass at,
I have the address, Judge, if you need it.
go ahead.
That is at Walmart, located at 5420 Juliet Boulevard, Naples, Florida.
Okay.
Zip code as well, Judge, or you're okay?
I'm sorry?
You need the zip code as well, or?
The zip code's not required.
Okay.
Okay, and then in case 20 MM 1022, tell me the terms on that one, Ms. Padilla.
Judge, it is the same terms that was said by Ms. Armpriester, so it's for both cases. It's an adjudication of guilt, court cost of prosecution, 12 months probation, where Mr. Borlett may early terminate at 8 months, 10 days weekend work, credit for time served, ACF misdemeanor mile program, and no trespass at the Walmart in the location that I just gave you.
Okay, and is it concurrent or consecutive?
Yes, Judge, it is concurrent.
All right, and Ms. Bonilla, have you had an opportunity to review the plea in absentia forms?
I have not, Your Honor. I did not receive them. I don't know if they were filed in the court file so that I can momentarily take a look at them.
They were provided to the court in open court.
Judge, I never looked at those plea in absentias.
I'm so sorry. I'm finding out if they were filed.
I didn't see them in the court file. Do you have a copy of them on your computer that you could email to Ms. Bonilla?
I believe Ms. Woodley does. I'm asking her to send them to Ms. Bonilla staff.
If she doesn't have a copy, we could continue this to Monday.
That might be best.
Any-
I know she's in court with Judge Brown, so she's unable to respond.
Okay. Any objection, Ms. Bonilla, to continuing both of these cases to Monday for the plea in absentia?
No, Judge, but if the documents are sufficient to the court, I mean, I can, if Ms. Woodley can send it to me today and I can review it over the weekend, then I would have no objection to hearing it on Monday. But if it's sufficient to the court for now, I mean, I trust the court's judgment.
Well, they look pretty good, but I'd like for you to review them just to make sure.
Not a problem, Your Honor.
All right, so let's continue both cases to Monday at 9 o'clock for the plea in absentia. I've provided the forms to the clerk, so those will be uploaded to showcase today to the court files. So you'll be able to see those. You're welcome. Okay, next case, Ms. Armpriester.
Your Honor, I have Jeffrey Joseph Nickel, 20 MM 1479.
Okay.
Judge, I've attempted contact numerous times. It does appear that early on I had contact, including my office, but there's been a lapse in contact. This was set for status. I have no further representations to the court at this time.
All right, Ms. Bonilla, what would you like to do?
Judge, is the defendant in court? I mean, today was the day in which the defendant's appearance was required.
That's what Ms. Armpriester just said. They've had no contact with him, and he is not present.
No problem, Judge. The state would at this time request that the court issue a bench warrant.
Okay. Any comments as to bond?
I think this was an NTA, Judge. I don't see that he is out on bond. I'm gonna ask, Judge, that you set this for $2,000.
All right, Ms. Armpriester.
Judge, we would request an ROR.
All right, bench warrant, $2,000 bond. Yes, 20 MM 1479. Okay.
Your Honor, next, if we could call Mr. Lopez.
All right, Alex Lopez, 20 MM 1237.
When I covered a similar situation, our office has attempted numerous times to locate Mr. Lopez and make no further representations to the court.
Ms. Bonilla, Mr. Lopez is not present. Public Defender's Office has been unable to make contact with him. What would you like to do?
Judge, I would like to ask the state to consider issuing a bench warrant.
You mean the court?
The court, I apologize. We would like to request a bench warrant be issued. This is for cut, destroy, harvesting palmetto plants. The state would recommend a bond be issued of $1,000.
Ms. Armpriester.
Judge, the current offer in this case is for a withhold. We would ask that the court issue, if you are going to issue a bench warrant, that it be a release on his own recognizance. I don't believe he has any prior history. And again, the state's offer as of January of this year is a withholding cost. So to keep him in custody seems silly.
All right, bench warrant, $250 bond.
Cover Mr. Mitchell, Ms. Mullen, Mr. Nickel, and Mr. Rowland.
Looks like we have Saddam Caesar or Cesar, I'm not sure, 20 MM 1983.
Judge, I represent Mr. Cesar on a case with Judge Nicola. I know he has a case in front of you. Ms. Woodley had wanted to do something separate with yours. I'm pulling the note because it was opposite of what I wanted to do with mine.
Well, shouldn't his case with Judge Nicola be reassigned to me?
It should, Judge. My understanding, when I bring that to the state's attention, is they say they always do it Monday at arraignments, but it makes scheduling an organization difficult, but there's a I don't want to say conflict, but there's an issue there. He has one case with Judge Nicola and one case with you, but they both should be assigned to you.
I see that. It's currently set for arraignment for next week. The other Judge Nicola's case.
Correct, on the 4th, I believe.
Do you want to wait and just request that to be moved?
Yes,
then?
Judge, if we could continue his case with you today, and then at the arraignment on the newest matter, we could get them both on the same date in front of Your Honor. I do believe he's in custody.
He is in custody.
He's in custody. Ms. Lilly has attempted to visit him, but he's not taking that.
Okay. So what date are you requesting? I'm sorry.
Judge, if we can take this to your next status, whatever the court's comfortable with, and I will have his Nicola case put on that same date.
Okay. You want to go to the pretrial conference then?
That's fine.
Any objection?
Objection, Your Honor.
All right, February 25th at 9 o'clock. And I believe that completes the docket. All right, anything else to come before the court?
Yes, Judge. I don't know if Miss Armpriester can hear me. Miss Armpriester, can you and Miss Woodley please get back with Mr. Rabb and myself? We are in preparation for trial. We have yet to hear from your office in regards to Miss Woodley's cases.
Madam, I don't know what else to tell you other than take it up with her. I've delivered your messages and we're both in court and we're set for trial. And as far as I know, we're going to trial.
No, I understand that, Miss Armpriester. That's why I'm saying it in open court to you to inform Miss Woodley. We have had communication with you, but we have had none with Miss Woodley.
I think what Ms. Armpriester said was Ms. Woodley has been in court, and as far as she knows, she's going to trial on her cases.
Okay, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay. Anything else, Ms. Bonilla?
No, Your Honor. That is all from the state.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Bonilla. Have a good weekend. We'll see you Monday.
You too. Have a great weekend.
If I hear anything before Monday, as far as if we are not having trial, I will let you know. If you don't hear from me, then presume we are still having trial.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'll be working all weekend.